Welcome to Big Ten Men's Soccer in 10. I'm Dean Linke, joined by the man we call the professor at BTN, Chris Munroe, former goalkeeper at Indiana. Great to be with you, Professor Munroe.
Great to be here, Dino.
All right, and it's fitting that you played in Hoosier land because we start with Indiana. That means we start with Todd Yeagley, one of the all-time great players at Indiana, and now in his 11th season as the head coach of the Hoosiers. And we are so pleased that arguably the greatest men's college soccer coach of all time, the Godfather, Jerry Yeagley, is also on the show. Welcome, Todd, and welcome, Godfather.
Thanks, Dean.
Great to be with you guys. You're the best.
Cannot wait. Now, Todd, first off, you won a lot of games last year, but you also lost a lot of players. But as always, you have a lot of talent coming back and coming in. Tell us about your team.
We did. We lost some key players up the spine. Obviously, Jack Mayer, Aiden Morris, too, that obviously were big parts. Simon Waver, leadership with Sean Caulfield. There was some losses certainly this year's group that we'll have to figure out. I thought the staff did a great job of bringing in an outstanding class. Ended up being ranked number 1 in the country. A lot of versatility, a lot of different players that can play different spots in the field. And we were able to pick up 2 transfers that specifically were able to get 2 areas with Simon and Jack's departure that have a little bit more experience, with Callum Stretch and Nick Sessick at Denver and Pitt, respectively. So I think between our returners, a very strong core, the 9 incomers, 7 freshmen, 2 transfers, we're poised to have some good depth and some battles in the field.
In terms of what the summer's been like for you, obviously COVID has impacted everybody's way of life. How has your returning players really helped kind of ingrain these newcomers into the team, and what's the communication been like between the old guard and these new guys?
It's been good. We've done the best we can to stay connected to our team in these unprecedented times. Through a lot of Zooms and calls, and we've been able to get the new players involved with that in the summer to get them a little bit more comfortable with our players, whether it's a video session or just a general talk. So I think the best we can under these times, I feel that they're as comfortable as they could be. And obviously they're starting to arrive to campus now to get into some voluntary workouts. So I think the bonding will begin and take another layer. But we have a great group of returning leadership that is, I think, ready to emerge. Spencer Glass, I think, is really ready to take even a bigger role. Thomas Ward's really emerged. I think Joe Schmidt is another one that's taken a bit of a leadership, AJ Palazzolo. So we definitely know there's a void there with some leadership that we lost, but I feel like the guys recognize it as a unit, and it's happening very organically, which is the way you want it to be.
For those of us who aren't as familiar with the multi-year recruiting grind and what that looks like in the upcoming season 2, 3, 4, can you describe how COVID has impacted that forward-looking process?
Yeah, everyone's in the same boat. I mean, we haven't seen any prospects since March. We were in a great position with where we were in recruiting. I can't get into specifics on where we are, but I can tell you we're in a good place with our future recruiting, and obviously this class that we brought in is really robust. So we're all at a bit of this standstill time of trying to identify, continue communication, but visits are important. And also being able to get out and see these kids play again is important. So we're doing the best we can. I think it will be a bit of an awkward, 6-12 months of recruiting, but we'll do everything we can to make it the best we can.
Well, speaking of recruiting, earlier this summer, the Worth the Wait documentary aired on the Big Ten Network, and it chronicled the 20-year journey that you and your lovely wife, Marilyn, took, taking IU from a club sport to a varsity sport to your 1982 national title. For those of us who might not understand really what that journey was like, can you describe how those 20 years really created the foundation of the IU soccer family that exists today?
Oh, it was an unbelievable journey, Chris. I think back to the club days in the 60s, the 10 years where we were not a varsity sport, and those bonds are as strong as any. And that, I feel, was a period of time that helped shape me to be the successful coach I was fortunate enough to become. And we had to do everything. We had to do everything, and there was no entitlements, no money, no anything. You just did the best you could, but we took a lot of pride. And I think that pride in the uniform that stemmed from those days has been one of our keystones of success.
You know, I've called you the Godfather because you are the greatest of all time, but I got to be fair. I don't think Todd Yeagley gets enough credit for how good he was as a player and as a coach. Can you comment on that, Jerry?
From the time he could kick a ball, Todd loved the game. He was a junkie. He was unfortunate. JT Trask was here in town, who was a junkie, and he worked with him. I give JT a lot of credit there. But Todd had what very few players have. He had that where the game slows down, and he didn't seem rushed, and his technique was impeccable. 93 and 94, when we were ranked #1 in the nation, it was one of the most beautiful times that IU played soccer to watch and enjoy. And unfortunately, we didn't win a championship, even though we were ranked #1 both those years. But as a coach, Todd has no one outworks him, I'll tell you that. And he's far beyond where I was. He has a thirst for learning all the time. His management skills, how he handles his staff, how he works with the players. I just marvel. I stealth in the shadows. I watch and I enjoy.
Todd Yeagley, hopefully you saw the Big Ten video recall with the great Mr. GUTMAN, who said he would take the player of the year over the Natty. I'm not sure you feel that way, but he was a special player.
He was. Yeah. I mean, Andrew's story is pretty incredible. You know, coming in, you know, not a very highly recruited player and just working his tail off, and obviously some really good players around him, and the environment helped him get to where he was. And I think he's very thankful. And I know Andrew wanted to win as much as anyone. I think you might have caught him in a moment of weakness there if you mentioned that. But no doubt he's proud. He's really proud of what, you know, he was able to achieve, and he thoroughly knows the teammates and the program helped him get him there. And it's fun to see him have success. And obviously, we've been watching him these last couple of weeks down in Florida, along with a lot of our IU boys. But it's fun to see our guys continue to do well at the next level.
How proud are you of the Professor Chris Munroe?
Oh, I mean, this guy is, I mean, he is one of the sharpest, most intelligent players that I ever got to coach. And obviously my father coached him. We were here together, head coach, assistant coach. And there wasn't anyone that one cares as much as Chris does about what his teammates, and two, just his intellectual ability was off the charts. Might have gotten his way a few times because he's just so smart, but certainly led to the success he's having today in the real world, as we call it.
Big Ten men's soccer in 10. I'm Dean Linke. Thanks for being with us.